Right, good afternoon. Sorry for the late start. My name is Munemero. I'm co-director, also geomatics engineer for Moja Geomatics. Um, so today I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to feature on GeoChat. Yes, it was on short notice, but I had to chip in. In the morning, I had some work which I was doing, but now I'm back. Fortunately, these things. But anyway, I hope everyone had a good time yesterday on our inaugural Surveyors Day, Global Surveyors Day. And I want to thank our Treasurer General Chakunyegete and then Surveyor Modric Wachkoto. Thank you so much for representing us with those donations which you were able to present uh, to the director for physical planning. Right. Let me not take much of your time. Let me start. So I've written some questions here. So I want to start with the first thing is maybe you want to know who is Simbarashim Nemerezigan. I'm not a very big man, or I'm 34 years old. But let me start my journey. I was born at Tambe, St. Augustine's mission in Penalonga. We are five, and I was born in 1984 in June. So yeah, the youth network I'm still qualifying now, but maybe by that time on the 8th of June I won't be a member, because I'll be 35. For youth you need to be 35. So all right, as you can see, can we start now? Because I only see one person. Can we start? All right, let me start. So basically, that's Simbarashim Nemero, my history. I learned at St. Augustine Primary School. Then in Form 1, I started my Form 1 at Marist up to Form 4. Then Form 5, Form 6, it was St. Augustine Patambe. Right, so I did a PC, but right from there also, then maybe people will ask, why did I choose survey? So from there, remember, in our country, it's not as easy to choose. You need to. What I really liked was because I was very good in mathematics, so I wanted actuarial science at NAST, but unfortunately I didn't get that. They gave me maths, but then I had to apply. It. That's when I chose surveying. Because I chose surveying because also when I was looking at the engineering program, because I didn't want to struggle. So surveying, I thought it was strongly mathematical. So I just felt that I didn't really know much about it, except for one agricultural show. When I went, I saw some. I think it's those guys from Defense Ministry, sorry, ZNA, where I learned a bit about mapping, but I didn't really had so it was just a touch and go. So right, so I chose surveying specifically because, as I said, because I'm strong in mathematics. So surveying is it's broad, and initially, of course, it was surveying, but we now call geomatics for a reason. Then that reason I'll talk about it at the end of the show. So the reason why I chose, as I said, I was not as good in physics, and that's why I really wanted actuarial. I was very good at. I also had a maths. I was a finalist at Maths Olympiad. So I thought, hey, maybe if I can read, but unfortunately, chemistry was not my strength. So unfortunately, I couldn't make the cut. So right now, when I started my survey in 2002. And I want to give credit to some of my lecturers. Some of them, you know them, like Ms. Machkukira is part of us, Zig, And there's Dr. Astole is very, he was one of my lecturers as well, and Charles Goodwin for geodetic, astrogeodetics. So I had it was not a, it was a bumpy ride then, because that's when we started to have problems at university. There's a great trek by the lecturers leaving. So I want to give credit to those were able to teach us, like Mr. Zondo, Buka. I can't mention all of them, but and also Mr. Kasege for cadastral surveying. So that's all about survey. So when I completed 2007, I joined 2008. I joined Department of Surveyor General. 2008, 2010. Unfortunately, it was not because I left because of problems with it, but I had a rough patch, medical problems. So most of the time, I think I actually was diagnosed with TB for some time. But when I was well, I just felt, hey, these 2 years, and with the cadastral, initially that's where I was, but I just felt that I was not going anywhere. That's when I joined. Costain, Costain, Zimbabwe. So that is 2010. So in 2010, so I was a trainee. So now when we talk about the role of geomatics, it started then the journey, and it's a survey engineering. When we talk of engineering, not cadastral, but cadastral, I learned information management, and I learned it when I was at the survey general. So, but that time at Costain, that's where I learned the ropes of survey engineering. So I had to some of these things. I think as we talk, we will see when we say survey engineering is not as easy as our elders or some people think. So some of the things which most people should grasp when you are in survey engineering, because you need to be, if it's in a construction organization, if it's a construction organization, you need to work with others. So you have to know what is a team, to be in a team, right? You don't have to work in a silo. Unlike, in cadastral, you can go there, out there, you just do your hammering, but in the construction world, as built world, you need to work with others. And when you are working with others, you need also to understand why they will be saying, no, can you please do one or two, even if they are foremen, they may not have the qualifications, but it's important also to grasp even why they are doing it, the shutter hands. There's a lot which concrete foremen, all those people who work, even the general laborers, you need to know how to work in a team, So it is very important, sorry, excuse me, it is very important for someone to understand, that's where also I understood the importance of learning even drafting, in terms of computer-aided designing. Was at university, it was not as much, it was just one or two touch and go. But that time, that's when I started to learn AutoCAD. Yeah, of course, I also want to give credit to one of my mentors, Mr. Magauze. He is one who started to tell me to learn AutoCAD when I was still at Surveyor General. So I want to give credit to that man as well, the land surveyor. He's a good man, that one. If for those who want cadastral, if you are going to work with him, you'll be in good hands. Because I also learned a lot in cadastral from him, and I'm talking of even the drafting, even the initial part of engineering. Because I think he started with engineering, so he also told me one or two things. Even when I was struggling at Costain, when you get a new job, it was so different from cadastral. But then from there, I left because of indigenization. Costain was bought and was now called Caesarea. Then I left, and there were issues there. Then I left. Then I started to, in 3 months, I did mining. So from cadastral, then I started mining. Mining was with Matsak, engineer Matemasak. He has a consulting company. So he introduced me to those guys, ESA. So So they had a project in Wales. That's why I was they wanted to recruit me, of course, they wanted as a consultant through his company, Matt Success. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. So it was just a 3-month project. I just did a few, well, mostly it was construction stuff, which I did, which was basically, we're working with the initial preliminary before it was an iron, I think it was an iron mine, with the iron mine, yeah. So what I actually did was to develop, I think, to profile the road, the access road, things like that. But it was just for 3 months. But because they were not really, they had problems of paying and things like that. So yes, more blessing. How are you? I can see also Tungamirai, and thank you guys for joining. So it's in mining. I just and also remember I had that medical problem which I had. Of course, okay. Let me just say it. I was diagnosed with TB, not yeah. So so that's actually my this lung was damaged, so the doctor, Dr. Shimuga, actually wanted to remove that. But anyway, let's leave that. But in mining, then I realized, but what I was taught, let me just leave this. I can't really work in this environment. So that's when I joined Drokat construction. If you know Drokat Enterprise, I think it did some administrative block in MSU campus. I was not there, but I was based at Clinical Project and that infamous NASA. That big project, Bay Bridge Hotel. So that's when I joined. That's where I really learned a lot from the likes of Redding Madume. He's a QS by profession. Yeah, but that man also taught me to learn things like BOQ, procurement scheduling, things like that. That's when I learned about how to be a project manager. I didn't do any course on that, but he taught me how to be a project. So also he taught me to learn from the foreman, even if they don't have a qualification. They were old madalas. So people out there just telling you from now, don't be worried about some of these old madalas. They've got a lot of information to learn from them if you're in the construction world. Don't say, because I've got a degree in they know more than you because they can know things like concrete. You see what was that disaster, this disaster which is happening. These guys, they really know about structure. They know about which is suitable, things like that, even the geotech. Without even using any, they can just see the substructure, things like that. They will tell you that, no, I think we don't need bases, things like that. So that's what I learned that time. So I'm also good at that, and some people will think that I'm a civil engineer, but I really am not. But I know because I learned from people who are not even know. Some of them are not civil engineers, but they are foremen. They had experience, like some had really serious experience, like 40 years. So just imagine. So you learn from them. So from Drocard, then we had a rap page 2015, projects where there's a problems with projects and things like that. Yeah, we had a few projects then. They really liked me, but the other thing also, because of my father is a trade unionist, and that's where I learned labor laws and things like that. Okay, where I learned I'll talk about what I like, and then I'll talk about law and things like that. I learned he's a librarian, and that's where also I learned how to research without even really going to school about it. I started to read, I think when I was 2 years, yeah. Started to read some novels, small novels. Yeah, so that's me there. But it's Drokat. Then we had problems. That June whatever that Zua problem. Dibako by what was it? That issue on labor where people were chopped. That's where trouble started because we were not getting paid. So I was workers committee chair that time. I had to put him there. Remember, in construction, normally people think those with the blue hats, they're the ones who are supposed to be in a works council, but I was part of it. So Mr. Sem, so those who know him, Samson, that guy, the owner of Drokat, so that this guy he knows too much about labor and because I know a lot. Because my father actually was with the likes of Morgan Changirai. They all even of course they had different ideas. My father is not, in terms of politics, is not in that. He's not into MDC, so that was the issue there. But anyway, so I moved. Okay, I was chopped. I was chopped in 2015. I was chopped. That's when I moved. Because now I'm an economic refugee here. I was chopped in 2015, so I came to 2015. I looked for a job and I got an offer from Sivukile. Sivukile is owned by engineer Mark Joseph Ngwerume. He's a agricultural engineer who landed at Chiloi University. Yeah, we're almost same age, but he's an entrepreneur. I have to admit. I mean, I was introduced by another guy who I worked with. He's a friend of mine, an environmental engineer from Chiloi again. He also has a company in Joburg. His name is Bernard Maziwa, a guy who landed St. Mary's. He's a good friend of mine. So I moved to South Africa, but I had to go back to Zim to secure a work visa. So I got a work visa in November. Then I come back to Vukile. I was project land surveyor, but because of my acumen, what I learned from the likes of Madume, Engineer Matawa, sorry, the connection was lost there. My router sometimes is a problem. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. Hopefully, we'll finish in 30 minutes. So I moved, as I said, I moved to Mpumalanga. So I was based in Mpumalanga. And I did a project. In Mpumalanga, they didn't have a university. So that university, UMP, University of Mpumalanga, I was part of, that's where I learned the new type of contract, new engineering contracts, because that's what they use there. I think that's the revolutionary type of contract, sort of contract. That's where I learned a lot, and so I was a project manager as well. So I worked with Mark Joseph and Engineer Mbawarega for some up to 20. Yeah, of course, on my link it is saying 2018 because no, I moved to Bloemfontein in 2017 February. Yeah. So I joined another. And now this remember the civil killers was more of construction. They had the consulting also, but mainly environmental issues and things like that, irrigation. So we had a couple of projects there. It's a small firm, but then I moved to a bigger firm, a Hato project. Project management in Bloemfontein in 2017 February. There I was a project link survey. Now this was a purely a design consulting firm and a project management firm. So I learned a lot of so these guys they also required a lot of information. Now the role of a land surveyor, of an engineering surveyor or geomatics engineer, it was drawn from there because in order for the designs to come out and things like that, a lot of information was required from me, especially even things which I really didn't like, thought I would do. Most of the time I was not even doing GIS, but because that those guys they would say, no, can you talk to this GIS sites? What when you're in a consulting firm, you're working with other consultants as well, so you need to research a lot. So GIS, yes, that's the only area which I think I really have to work a lot on because I did a lot with at Hato, but mainly it was on the design aspect to take profile topographical surveys and you come up with, that's where also I learned building information modeling. Now that information which you take from the terrain, I took it, you take it and you load in softwares like the main one which we're using, C43D, these are Autodesk, most way which I use Naviworks and Simulcast. So, but the unfortunate part about building information modeling is we are still working with other engineers, other quantity survey, because this is the building information modeling. It's the tool which is supposed to integrate every professional in the build or the team member in their information. I did my part, but the problem now was the engineers that I was working. I'm not saying it. Yeah, I was not. Yeah, I was trying to. He was struggling with. I'm not going to. But he's a good man. Engineer Colombo is glad Africa. So most of them they didn't understand. Myself, I read this build information modeling, what is required, and a lot of information I put it in there, but they failed to grasp build information modeling. That is the challenge also with the fourth industrial revolution. Some of especially our elders, are still resistant on things like that, like SharePoint, things like us using all those cloud systems. But the problem is, you would end up downloading and giving some memory stick. But anyway, at the end of the day, I went there in 2018, right? Projects again. Construction. You need to. It's the whole level of construction. So there was it was coffee. There were problems in construction then. So 2018, I realized they had a problems in we had some projects, FET motel, and in Ketwana pipelines and things like that. The clients were not paying, so there was a challenge. So again, they asked who wanted to be retrenched. So yeah, it took me some time to think about it, but I knew that it's better to to suggest on your own than to. So I just let me just. So I suggested on my own that okay, I am up because I'm game for this. So then I was retrenched also again. In construction, that's the other challenge. It's easy to be because it's project based. It's not organizational based. So I was retrenched, but unfortunately, I had already formed a firm with my good friend Clifford Moja Geomatics. So we started a lot of project proposals, and yeah, we're still going. We're still moving. There's a lot of work to do, but we started opening the Zimbabwean branch. So then with time, I also opened this site in end of December in South Africa. So we have our branches. So I'm heading this side, but mainly I'm into marketing and finance. This marketing finance is because I'm blessed that remember I'm born from a family of five. In that family, most of them are in the business side. There's my brother Shingai is the first mature. Then my brother is an economist, and my sister she's into banking. So I have a support structure that side. So I also know a lot, and I want to give credit also to my uncle who taught me one or two things on the business side. Because I also went when I was still at college at his supermarket, and I also want to give credit to him because he also gave me a very very Form 5, Form 6 to be where I am is because of Baba Susan Puma. So I want to thank that man. So anyway, it's now 23 minutes. I don't want to go much on that. So that's basically the raw of my journey as a savage. So from where I am now, so there's one thing which I didn't mention. I'm also a part-time lecturer at Central University of Technology. Central University of Technology is based in Bloemfontein. I teach a couple of courses there, but the main courses that I teach, as I said before, alluded before, even all my siblings will tell you that because I help most of them, even in my family, not extended family, maths it's one of my strongest points. So I also teach engineering maths that side. So for BTech and diploma, yeah, just I think every week I have I think 12 to 18 hours, yeah, where I teach. But now I think I had a break. So that's my journey. That's another thing that I do. I like also to because I'm also good at researching and teaching. Yeah, I'm very loud when I'm talking. So sometimes maybe people who saw me first time, they're saying this guy likes to talk too much. I think Tagwe and on on that meeting. But anyway, that's all about the role of my journey. So what I like, what is it that I like? I myself, I like uh, what I love is to see this profession progress. I want to see the youth progress because that's me. That's my nature. Was also another thing that I like. I love law. I see that the reason why we fail so much in this world or in our profession is because we really learn this law, but we don't really understand it. So I'm just telling all the guys out there, please read the law of the land or wherever you are. Just read. It's important to know the laws. They will help you because, like yesterday, your human rights. You don't even know that you are entitled to one or two. So learn the laws. I love law myself, and I love reading and researching because just like my father or Aristophanes, I love reading big volumes. I read, but then the moment now it's easy. I can also see Discovery Channel, things like that. That's what I love. Also, remember I said I like teaching as well. I love to teach, to mentor or things like that. That's embarrassing for you. Also, I like to interact with people, different from different backgrounds. That's what I love also. So then maybe where do you see geomatics in 20 as a in closing in 10 years? Look, I was looking at the issue. I was talking to Dr. Magidi in the morning. There is a need for, especially in geomatics, for people, especially with a survey background, was this we were used to be equipment oriented. I want people to grasp data science, informatics. You know that geoinformatics is written there, but people don't use it. We concentrate on the survey side. Unoroera oko, agusuko because look, this we are the managers of the land management in whatever sense. Land management it entails a lot, right? Resource management. That's why you see a mine surveyor is required. Don't be too comfortable with operating equipment because those things it's going to be easy very soon. Like iPhone now, I can take volumes with an iPhone with an app. You see, so it's now easy for anyone to do that. I'm talking of the data capture. Data capture is now getting easy. Xiaomi has got a dual frequency phone right now, which is a centimeter accuracy, which means mobile mapping is now it can be done by anyone, even the communal land, which I was talking about tenure. It's now easy for anyone, even as a participatory by the community members using their phones, so long as you give them those type of phones. So let's. That's where I see it, so I see geometry growing, but it requires us to understand data science and informatics, big data. I think Dr. Shoko talked about this. We need to really grasp this. Otherwise, if we do not, it's not like but to be an operator, you will only merely be an operator really just to know GPS and whatnot. So it's not important. What is important is what to do with the data. Like what is happening to IDI now. I really admire the likes of Manju who understand what to do with the data. Be it observational data, photogrammetric or whatever, photos, even any type of data. Use it for the betterment of what? Of the profession or of the community where you live. That is the most important aspect. Don't be too comfortable with just taking data, then you are done, right? The last thing that I want to see is remember when we talk about this issue about survey. I know most students they didn't like survey. You were given because of the circumstances. You know, you don't choose sometimes in life. In life, some things are given. Not everyone has that privilege to choose. But I want you to understand one thing: develop a passion. Like myself, I develop a passion in whatever I do. So try to develop a passion. That is the success point. Number one, develop the passion first. Like it, even that's the only thing that will get you far. Thank you so much. I will meet you GeoChat again, WhatsApp. Thank you. Have a nice day.